Peace and blessings, family. 4th of September, 2018. Shout out to those who were able to make the most of their summer, as well as those who were committed to make growth during this summer because some of you were working vigilantly, as well as some were able to relax. Shout out. Props to you. But today, here in Virginia Beach, another milestone because the school district celebrated its first day of school. And I know for those who are on the East Coast, the down south, you've already started. You probably had a 2 week, I think, 3 week head start. But shout out to all your efforts getting your babies out there to learn and explore and grow. Here, it's hot, it's muggy, it's sticky, as you can see. They've already said, "Oh, it's gonna feel like 100." It is what it is. So, gotta stay hydrated. And then, as you can see right here, looks like a fever blister. And I don't know if it is, but I do know that the other day that I, being reckless, tried to smoke a cigarette that was already smoked, and it got too hot, and I got a nice little singe from it. So I'll definitely be monitoring that. Put some tea tree oil on it because it's antibiotic, and make sure that that goes away. But I wanted to take the time out to shout out to each parent, each person that had invested their time in the development of those who are going to come behind you. We're talking your babies. Now, what you hear right now is it's trash day. So he's going to come by in a second, do his job, and keep it moving. So bear with me. So turn that up a little bit. But nonetheless, the end of summer is almost here. So some of you were able to celebrate Labor Day weekend. Some of you were, oh wait, some of you were able to celebrate Labor Day weekend. And some of you were actually able to make the most of your summer because you planned for it. You were strategic. While others, like myself, another day, another requirement, another responsibility, another block checked off. Because at the end of the day, the bills got to be paid. The responsibilities have to be taken care of. Because it's who you are. And keep in mind what's going on right now. It's the first of the month. So yeah, mortgages got to get paid. Rent has to be paid. For some of you that may have major commitments like car notes have to be paid. All these things don't stop. Now y'all notice? You notice that? See where I sit my cigarette? Yeah. I think that this the other night I was too lazy to grab my pack of cigarettes. There was one that I half smoked, and I lit that sucker up, and it lit me up like, hey, partner. But all that does is give me validation of, hey, boy, you need to quit anyway. So I've been making mental notes on that and actually getting my mind right because for the last couple weeks, as some of you have been following me, you know I've been talking about it's time to go ahead and get this butt in the gym and step into my true self. And some of y'all been also been wondering, what about that hair? I know somebody's laughing. What about your hair, boy? Well, I'm still gonna do it. Actually, I had a dream last night. I was sitting in the salon and like somebody was looking at me from the side and you could see the dreads from a side shot and it was done and they were kind of thin, but my stylist, which is the owner, she's the one that does my hair. She was like, Gerald, give it 2 weeks and it's gonna puff out like it always does. And I think what has been dragging what has caused me to drag my feet is the metaphor of why I got my hair dreaded in the beginning. Some of y'all don't know my story, but the reason why I did it is because I wanted to embrace a journey. Number one, I really believe came by spirit. I believe God wanted to teach me through a physical form of what patience looks like, because you can't see patience. You can't ask somebody, say, hey, show me what your patience looks like. Good luck with that. But through examples, you can. And one thing I've come to learn about dealing with your crown is it requires diligence, requires dedication, it requires commitment, unlike any other, because it is out of your physical control. But the one thing that I gained out of that first experience was understanding what you queens go through and how the little things matter so much. You know, from a guy standpoint, we'll roll up into the barbershop and we'll be patient because of having to wait till our favorite barber can put us in a chair. It could take anywhere from 20 to 2 hours, depending on how skilled he or she is. That ain't nothing. That's really nothing. But on the flip side, when you guys, referring to you, Queen, make an appointment and go through the rigid requirements of having your hair done. First, getting it washed and then conditioned. Then you got to sit in that hair dryer. I still believe to this day that if you want someone to bare their soul, truthfully bare their soul, you wash their hair, you wash their scalp, and then you sit their butt under a hair dryer. That in itself is not fun. It's not fun. Feeling every hair follicle go through the rigid, you know, the process. It can be painful. So to go through that, to endure all that, to get the end goal of the style that you desire, to step out into the world, and then not a eyes batted, not a you look nice, wow, I'm not talking about a position of like I'm gonna kiss your ass, excuse my French, but just acknowledge what the person has done because that is a sacrifice when you think about it. And a lot of times that goes unnoticed, unappreciated. And I can understand how that could have an effect on a person's attitude at that moment, during that day, through the week. Because it is the little things that matter. Always shall be, always will be. But I'm almost there, family. And I think deep down inside, what was keeping me hesitant from returning back to that was the fact that there was some fear. Gerald gets afraid. I'm a human being. I'm a man. I'm not afraid of my emotions. You're not alive. You're not really claiming your life if you don't embrace who you are, even your insecurities. You realize how different the world would be if people would be honest with their insecurity? Because that's what's required for change. You can't change something that you won't acknowledge exists. And plus, you don't get a pass for just condoning. What do you get out of that? Wasted time, wasted effort, a delayed reaction or effect. How about impact? So, my time has come. I'm real soon. I just didn't want to put a timestamp on this because this may be the first time you've ever stumbled on my videos and like, well, what's this brother talking about his hair? Why does this brother say this and say that? Because everything I convey first comes from a place of the heart. It's transparent and it's for the intended person to reach you on the level that you're on. And that's okay. You might be in a position right now that you got your game plan. You know what you need to do. You focused, you've wrote it down, because some of us don't embrace things unless we physically act on it. We write it down, we make a list. Because when you write it down, that's the first form of committing to yourself. Because if anything, you're not going to remember verbatim what was on that list, but you can remember writing something down. And that's going to cause you to reflect. But we're talking about you. So let's not shortchange ourselves, right? Stopwatch out of your life. Stop being so critical. That's what's up. Good morning. The first thing we have to do as people, human beings, remember, there's only one race, the human race, is we have to be true to ourselves. You feel a certain kind of way when you step out in the world, it's because you feel a certain way with the reflection looking back in the morning. That's why you've always heard me through the years say, are you comfortable telling yourself you love yourself? Are you afraid to use that beautiful word called LOVE? Because if you are insecure about that, take a step back and look at your connections outside in the world. It will reflect exactly the same. So if you want to change it, you got to acknowledge what is present. You got to acknowledge what exists. And you have to make a decision what needs work, what needs to be let go, and what needs to be acknowledged. I mean, come on now, think about it. We live in a world where everything is real time. So some of us have embraced this entitlement like attitude, like the world owes you. No, it doesn't. It does not. And where you stop is where you begin. So let's put this in proper perspective. Your friends, their role and responsibility is to prove their loyalty by the mentality that they share through their behaviors connected to you. Did you just hear what I said? Otherwise, you wouldn't have a commonality to begin with. You wouldn't have nothing to talk about. So if your friends are not represented in the best light, how can they preserve and protect the bond that you share with them if they don't do it for themselves? I mean, think about it. Yes, we feel a certain kind of way when we see a wounded bird, wounded animal. I'm using that metaphorically. The compassion should come out. You feel a certain empathy, but even when you acknowledge that, it might not be your responsibility to help that. Maybe it's its journey to see how strong it really is. You can't go through life rescuing every butterfly because you enable it. And I've trust me, I've had little flies fly in my house, and I'm like I'm gonna kill it. Then sometimes I catch myself and I'll catch it and I'll take it right out and outside. That's just who I am. You know, it still has a soul. It still has a right to exist. But everything has a course in life too. Even that pesky mosquito. You know. But I wanted to take this time out to acknowledge the parents, the guardians, those people that chose to show kindness, compassion, to give a damn with our babies out here. Shout out to you. I know that we live in a world where you're not going to get a pat on the back. And a lot of times you'll see the worst before the best. If it's true to you, stay to it. Because you may be teaching someone to do the same through influence. Because as you already know, there are plenty of people out there showing what don't work, what you don't need, as well as how to self sabotage or exploit. You gotta make a decision. You want to roll with them or you want to claim you? That's for somebody. Lastly, I hope this week will be the payoff for you were, whatever your goal was. Some of y'all made a decision beginning of the summer to tackle a challenge, something that for a long time that you didn't think you had it in you to do. And big ups to that. Once again, stop looking for the pats on the back. Stop looking for the attaboys and attagirls. It's not coming. You may hear it and see it through those people who genuinely give a damn about you. If anything, that's your validation that you are on the right path. But with that being said, Don't trip when you don't hear it. Take note. Please take note. Because what you may be witnessing is a unraveling of the deception. And I'm not trying to sound like Debbie Downer, but I got to be 100 because that's the only way I can be. You know, as I've always said, see, is this crap. You've always heard me echo: an opportunist doesn't need their an opportunist does not need your help to expose themselves. But what is required of you is to have the courage to acknowledge what has been presented. That means you still have control and have the you have to make the decision. You don't make a decision. And I say that because we've all heard the parable of people come into your life for a reason, season, and sometimes a lifetime. Just as you've always heard me say, don't worry about who is over your shoulder, who you're not walking with right now. Because as long as you are doing what's best for you, you're going to see him again. You're going to see him again. It doesn't matter if it's 5 months to 50 years. You will see them if it's meant. And when I say it's meant, I mean divinely, because everything is divinely done. Even though you hear people don't want to give props to the Most High, you know, which we already know that's always been a battle been going on these last 10 years to the point that they have convinced you that no, don't worship God, worship man. That's all you need because man rules everything. But man could not exist without God. That's my soapbox for somebody. If I could pass something to you this way, to you right now, I hope this week brings you peace of mind, clarity. Somebody needs clarity right now. Somebody needs temperance right now. Somebody is at that point, that teetering point where you know something has to give. Make sure you give it to yourself. I know you may be saying, well, Gerald, that sounds really cut and dry, but what price? What's going to be the price? Because my perceptions, my ideology, the way I function in this world is built around this event or this person. I don't want to feel embarrassed if I'm wrong. But are you waking up with a smile on your face? Are you going to bed feeling emotionally safe or emotionally drained? These are only questions that you know. These are answers that I have been speaking to you for so long. And you have the nerve to think that you crazy. You ain't crazy. You just ain't claiming it. Doesn't matter what that physician tells you, hey, take this pill right here, you'll feel better. Nope. It ain't about that. You don't need that. What you need to do is go inside yourself, make some changes. Because no one you don't need anyone's permission to grow. You don't. You don't. But you are required to be you. You are. And I hope that you do it well. Granted, there are going to be many people that are going to try to talk you off of that. You don't need that. Why are you doing that? But what does your heart say? What does your spirit say? What does your reality show you? What does it show you? Because if it's meant, every door will be open to your goal. And even if it's not open, doesn't mean it's locked. Maybe it just means you're not ready. There's something that has to be learned prior to that next endeavor. You ever thought about that? Think about it this way. Let's just say your goal was to enhance your financial standings, right? But you have not taken the time to prepare for it, right? And all of a sudden, someone comes to you. We'll say your boss. Your boss says, hey, you know what? Because of your diligence, I'm going to give you a bonus. And that bonus is very nice. You're happy. But you know your priorities have been long standing the whole time. Now, the person that is invested are going to automatically be grateful for what they've received, but they're going to take care of the priority first. While there will be some that will say, well, you know what? I'm going to go turn up, only to leave the priorities not impacted. And I'm mentioning this for somebody because you've been blessed with an opportunity. You know you have, it's there. But for some reason, you don't believe it. But these are the effects of your actions. You've earned it. I know it's easy to be cynical and say, well, if it's too good to be true, it can't be true. But you've done the facts, you've done the research, and you got the reward. Now, it could be in a scenario of this. Not to sound morbid, same scenario, but you're in a relationship that, you know, you've outgrown it. Now, you could take that resource, because that's what it is, and make a change. Come on. That's one thing I know about God. God will give you what you need, not what you want. And He does everything on His time, not ours. And He does that specifically so that it gives us time to understand what is occurring. That's why, the word history is not His story. That's God's way of saying to mankind. Do you understand what I'm showing you? Do you truly understand what you're witnessing? Because if you do, this gives you an opportunity to make the corrections that are needed without any apprehension. That's why you see some people, when it comes to time, they're stuck. You can turn around and give them everything they need, and they still won't get it. And I'm gonna say this to somebody too, because right now you're basing your belief system on other people's perceptions. Number one, angels are real. Demons are too. But if you're expecting for an angel to manifest in front of you, and you got the wings and the purple sash and the cloak, the garment to the feet. Good luck with that. Same thing with a demon. If you're expecting a demon to show up and it's got horns and a grotesque face and fear, good luck with that too. Because even with demonic influence, you're not going to see a demon just show up and say, hey, I'm a demon. I'm here to destroy your life. Oh, matter of fact, while I'm here, I'm going to destroy your lineage too. They operate through people. That's why you see it through behavior. See, you know how you hear people say, if the body was a temple, would be referenced like a vessel, like a pot, like this pot right here. Look, 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 look. I hope I'm getting it. You see that flower pot? If I don't put anything in it, nothing will come out of it. But if that pot is broken, I can manipulate what is in it and out because it won't stick. It won't stay. There's no roots will be able to grow. And that's your legacy. That's your lineage. That's your story. And not to sound morbid, everything that you do, everything that defines you will be unfortunately surmised in a 3-inch hash between your birth and your going home. So it's really important that that period of time is represented. Because at the end of the day, family, it's your responsibility of how your story is to be told, not their responsibility how to tell it. That's for somebody. But just know, if you ain't heard it, you're loved. We need you to love yourself. I know you might be in a position right now, you said, well, Gerald, I got it. I hear that all the time. You keep saying it. But will you receive it? Because I know it may be contradictory to the reality. You may say, well, Gerald, I've done what I think I need to do, but at the end of the day, my bed is still cold. I've got memories, but there's the significant person missing. Maybe that person's being prepared. Maybe there's still things that you have to master for yourself. Because keep in mind, it don't matter how much money you got in your pocket. It don't matter what you got between your legs. It doesn't matter the influence that you may have. None of that matters until this is made one. That's why you can't buy self-respect. That's why you can't manipulate your happiness. You can't do that. It has to be cultivated. It starts every day when you wake up in the morning and you see that person. You know the person, got the crust in the eyes, breath smell like yoo-hoo. That's you. So why aren't you loving that person? Hmm? Something to think about. It doesn't matter, Queen. Listen, some people going to disagree. That's cool. But look, One of the greatest gift God bestowed to man was woman. She is beautiful and unique in her own right. And she was given three gifts. The third gift was the gift of nurturement. But if she can't nurture herself, how you think her relationships to the world gonna be? If she is blessed to become a mother, how you think their development is gonna be? If she's not loving herself, how can she properly love her offspring? How can she? I say that with love. I say that with compassion. I say this with kindness from me to you. Now, at the end of the day, take what you need, discard the rest. But at the end of the day, you still have to be you. I'm going to still ride for you. But you make sure you ride for yourself first. And listen, when I say that, that is not from a place of conceit, nor a place of resentment, or a place of envy, because those are all fear based. Those are all reactionary too. Those are all positions of influence by impulse. There's no ownership there, but deflection. But that's all I wanted to say. It's a new week. Hope you guys had a blessed summer. Enjoyed your Labor Day, and if you on that grind and you had to work uh, Labor Day weekend, you wasn't by yourself. I was out there. I had to work every day. I work every day. That's what a man does. I like nice things. Well, guess what? Last time I checked, I gotta do what I need to do so I can have it. It's about the process, the application of the commitment to your story. So I hope you guys have a blessed week. Hopefully, yeah, man, cigarette, damn cigarette. Hopefully, a couple days it'll go down. I got some, you know me, I'm all about that holistic. I'm put some tea tree oil on it, and since it's the best thing you put on your skin, it'll make it heal quicker. Next to peppermint, peppermint oil is great too. Um, but ultimately, I need to darn quit, right? I know somebody was like, "You just need to quit them cigarettes, Gerald. You need to quit them cigarettes." You right. You right. You right. But at the end of the day, I'm still Gerald, right? So you have a blessed week. Sidestep the negative. Place God first in everything you do, and let your actions celebrate what you stand for, and that's being blessed. Because you're just being you. Peace, fam. Have a great week. Peace.